So, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be using a basket. Now, baskets are massively fashionable at the moment. If you're working in the industry, baskets are being used instead of large pedestals. They're being used down the aisles and they're used in groups together to form a really informal display of flowers at the bottom of archways. They're everywhere. You must have seen them. I've chosen quite a basic basket, which incidentally are very expensive to buy, but I've got quite a basic one. And I'm going to reuse the flowers that I used in this arrangement here. In this arrangement, it was very formal, structured. It was that really rigid triangular shape. And I'm going to show you what I can do with the same flowers, but in a much looser and more informal style. I'm possibly going to introduce some extra flowers just so that we can get that whimsical look. But the main structure of the design is going to be fairly similar. Because there's not a lot of strength to this basket, I'm going to fill it with a round container. It happens to fit in there perfectly. It's going to support the basket and keep the shape of the basket. It's also going to contain the water so that it doesn't spill over and wet my little basket. So if you are using basketry, you've got to remember that it's not waterproof, and over long term it is going to get mouldy, damp and possibly rot if you don't look after it well. So this is my basket. If you looked in the overhead camera as I put that in, you might have noticed there's little handles inside there. And that's because this is half the size the basket normally is. It pops up into sort of an unusual shape. But for today's video, my flowers aren't tall enough to be able to fill the whole basket. So you might see that at a later date. And this is going to add weight to the container as well, because obviously basketry is very light. And if I need to refresh and rehydrate that floral foam, it's quite easy for me to add water here in at the side. And I've taped the foam in nice and securely so it's not going to move around. Now this is going to be a front facing design, and what I'm going to start by doing is using my double-headed chrysanthemums really down low. And this almost acts like your foliage would be in a traditional arrangement. So now flowers are used at the base to hide our mechanics. I'm going to cut that a bit shorter. You'll see it with hydrangeas. Spray roses are often used. Statice can be used, carnations. And essentially what I'm going to do, I'm just going to find something to stop my scissors banging down every time I bang down. It really annoys me every time I bang the scissors down. So flowers are now used to hide our mechanics. Hydrangeas, large expensive roses, peonies. They're grouped down here at the base to help cover the floral foam. They're not really used as a flower of value, even though they can be very expensive flowers. They are used purely to hide the floral foam. And next time I have hydrangeas in, I might do a similar design using hydrangeas. I'm just going to move this one over, and the reason for that is I'm going to also introduce some pink chrysanthemums, and I want to group the pink chrysanthemums on the opposite side. So I've also got the double chrysanthemum in this lighter shade, and essentially what I'm going to do with this arrangement, which is maybe different from other arrangements that I've done, is I'm going to group the colours. I'm going to group the colours and the flowers together in that more sort of contemporary and modern style. Now, if you've been a florist for a long time like me, grouping, clustering isn't a new style. It's just very trendy at the moment, using very modern and sculptural flowers. And I'm going to recreate it, but in a slightly different version. In the previous arrangement, I used some stock. I can't obviously make those any longer. They are going to work really nicely towards the front, clustered together in a group. Now, if you're doing these for weddings, you can quite easily do this without floral foam by just arranging into a bucket or some little jam jars in the containers. But I didn't have the stem length, so that's why I've had to use the foam. But you can see there's a cluster here of all white, there's a cluster here of all pink. You can now introduce a clashing colour or an opposite colour. Any colour really is going to be different to the white, or you can stick to having all white in this section here and all pink in that section there. I think I'm going to mix it up. So what I'm going to do here is introduce some pink. And again, I'm a little restricted with the heights of my stock. We can start bringing out a bit of length here with some longer pieces of stock. That's the longest one I've got. So that's a cluster all arranged together. I'm not making that triangle shape. It's almost like they're growing up from the basket rather than positioned in that very formal style. Then I can use some of the pink carnations on the opposite side. And if you are seeing this trend and you're unsure how to execute it, the best option is to stick with individual flowers like chrysanthemums, which are a little bit tropical, birds of paradise. Arum lilies are massively fashionable. You stick to one single flower type rather than individual sprays. So it doesn't work quite so well with spray carnations. Spray chrysanthemums used higher up. You need to exaggerate the stem, and the stem becomes part of the design and not something that we hide. And we're going to really extend them out as if they're growing out of the basket. If I had longer flowers, I would be able to exaggerate the height a bit more. But what I'm going to do at the back, where that sort of group of stock is at the front, I'm going to elevate the height here towards the back. So if you're buying flowers for this style, length of stem and a clear stem is what's important. And now you've seen it done with me here on the channel, you'll see it everywhere in magazines, wedding photographs. This one I'm doing is front facing, but you can easily do this as an all-round design if you wanted to sit somewhere where you're going to see it from the front and the back. But essentially we're grouping all of the different flower types together to create that sort of visual impact. Now I've gone to the side, I've gone to the top, I've come to this side. I've got a small group towards the front, but I really need now to fill in this area here because this section here is completely flat. So something long to come in here is going to fill in that area really nicely. And I think I'm going to do it with the roses. Ideally, I could do with them being a little longer, but I can't change the flowers I've got. So we're going to go in with these ones. And I'm going to start with the ones that are already cut short, closer to the foam, and then I can extend the length up with the taller flowers as I go. And I'm going to bring that cluster more out towards the front. Now you might have noticed there's no foliage in this one, and that's because we really need the look of the flowers. If you are going to use leaves, they need to be things that are big and very effective. So luckily I have some fatsias. And again, what we're going to do with these is we're going to group them together. So rather than spread them fairly equally throughout, I'm going to place them in a large group. These work so well with long trailing bits of ivy coming out of the basket or pieces of fern cascading down over the front. Trailing amaranthus also works nicely because it all spills out of the basket and looks really professional. And I have some artificial amaranthus, which we're going to add in at the end. Now, I didn't use gerberas in the previous arrangement, but I have 3 nice long stems, and I'm thinking they're going to work really well at the back here. I don't want to put them in this group here because they're too close to the pink carnations. So we're going to pop these in at the back. For me, if a gerbera is conditioned properly, it doesn't need to have a wire wrapped around the outside. And if you're not sure about care and conditioning of flowers, then you can download the PDF guide that's linked in the shop just below, and it will help you understand all the different care and conditioning methods. So a nice tall group of the gerbera at the back, and the basket is really coming together. Now I'm quite liking this natural dip here. I'm thinking of extending this side and that side there to make it more of an asymmetrical design. And I'm thinking that on this side here, a group of the pussy willows here are going to work really well. They're also going to help to extend the height. And then I can repeat this group on the opposite side as well, but in a different angle, so we're not perfectly matching it on either side. I'm thinking I'm going to bring it up in the back here. I don't want to go off too far to the side. Now you might be thinking, looking at this, Sharon, poof, I really don't like that design. That's not my cup of tea. And that's okay, because it's always nice to see something different and nice to see how two different types of flowers can be used. I'm thinking that's a bit too perfectly matching. That position and that position is quite similar. So I'm going to move these more towards the side, and then they're not quite repeating the same shape on either side. They're a little bit different. Now I don't know if Hypericum would be my first choice for this type of arrangement, because it's a spray flower and it doesn't quite give that sort of impact that the other flowers are given, but it's a nice connection with the red colour of my roses. So I'm going to use this on the opposite side. And what you will see a lot of the time with this type of arrangement is that at the base where my chrysanthemums are, lots of florists are now using an artificial hydrangea, and they reuse those hydrangeas time after time after time in different weddings. So they invest in white or coloured hydrangeas and they collect them at the end of the wedding and keep reusing them. But we've got red on both sides of the arrangement, but it's not repeated in a mirror image of the opposite side. So we've got a cluster of red here, a cluster of red here. It's a different shape, it's a different colour, and gives off a completely different vibe. So I used ivy in the previous arrangement, and I'm going to reuse that in just a second, spilling out of the container here. I've also got some taller white roses that I didn't use in the previous arrangement, so I'm going to use them here. And what you will have noticed is that there is no foliage on the stems of the flowers. And I'm going to bring these ones right out here at the side to exaggerate the length. I've got a nice long stem on it. I'm not going to cut it too short. And now I've placed them in, I'm thinking that I'm going to rearrange them. I'm going to put them in this position here instead. I'm thinking that they're a little lost over this side. There's too much going on, and they will be better off over here alongside those bigger carnations. Now, as a florist, this is a style that I would call form linear, although they tend to call it meadow style now. But for me, that doesn't grow in the meadow, doesn't look anything like a meadow style. It's what we're seeing coming through in the wedding industry at the moment. And now I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to introduce some artificial flowers to give this arrangement a real pop of colour. This is an artificial Phalaenopsis orchid. Again, they're used hugely in the industry at the moment, both fresh and artificial. If brides don't have the budget for fresh orchids, we're still incorporating the effect into the design, but we're using artificial flowers instead. This is a version of Trailing Amaranthus, and this is going to come out at the front of my basket. And one of the advantages of using artificial flowers is we can bend them. So they're going to look like they're spilling out to the front of my basket. And then before I finish, I can add in my ivy on the opposite side. So what do we think? Is there something you think is really awful and that you don't like the groupings of the material placed together? Or is it something that you would quite enjoy having a go at? Maybe we need to have more flowers to create this quite dramatic look. And maybe you have to be younger to appreciate the modern trends. For me, it's something very similar to designs that we saw in the 90s when we were using lots of arum lilies and calla lilies. But if you're a young bride getting married at the moment, this is just bang on trend and something that's very different from the styles that we're seeing in traditional floral design. Now I'm actually thinking I'm going to move the ivy because I've blocked that gap in the middle, and I do like that V shape that's quite visible there in the centre. So I'm going to move the orchid over to this side. And if your budget allowed for another orchid, you could either place it on this side here, or you could put them in a group together on one side. And now's the time to let me know, do you love it or do you hate it? Can you see how many different styles of arrangements you can make with a similar selection of flowers. Let me know, have you seen these in magazines? Have you seen them in churches? Do you like them? Do you dislike them? It's always interesting to know different people's opinions. If you're not subscribed, then please do so. It's really important for other people to find us. Like and share the videos and comment in the box below. And as always, I look forward to hearing your feedback and your comments and seeing you in the next tutorial. Thanks for watching and goodbye for now.